So there are times when the mask of deception slips from the elitist corporate media. They usually try to, at least sometimes, they try to pretend that they're all objective. Hold on just 1 second, I forgot to put my seatbelt on here. How bad of me? I'll just keep on talking while I'm doing this, because I'm not one of those elitist corporate whores. I'm just a YouTuber with an iPhone and this thing called a real life. I digress. The corporate media, and by that I'm not talking about BuzzFeed and other just blatant fake news publications like them who are just blatant in their BS. Now I'm talking about the New York Times. They call themselves the newspaper of record, right? And they, along with the Wall Street Journal and The Hill and Washington Post, they pretend to be objective. But like I said, though, sometimes their bias just gets the best of them. They can't help it. They just put everything out, and it's there for the whole world to see. Well, this week is kind of like that. They being the New York Times, have promoted a lady. I use that term loosely. I don't think there's anything ladylike about her. But she is how about this? She is of the female gender, named Sarah Jeong. And she is going to be on the editorial board of the old gray lady, the New York Times. And the reason why I bring this up is that the woman is a flaming racist. She had a ton of tweets, which you can find them. Just hop on Google real quick and do a search for Sarah Jeong tweets. Talking about how she loves being mean to old white men, and how white people's opinions are like dogs pissing on fire hydrants. And she also said the white people should be relegated to the same social class as a subterranean goblin, because, well, white folks being of the paler skin tone, well, we tend to sunburn. That right there, folks, that is a deal breaker for that woman. We are goblins. We're not even human. This lady, her racism is out there for the whole world to see. And I have a really hard time believing that the New York Times did not know that they were hiring a racist. If you, and it's an old tired exercise, frankly it's boring, but I'm going to go ahead and play it here. If you go on and you look at some of her tweets, and you substitute the word white with any other race, she would be crucified by the media. She wouldn't be getting a promotion. She'd be getting fired, let go. Her career and her life would be destroyed. I mean, financially, she would be ruined for the rest of her life. But because her racism was aimed at white people, it's perfectly fine. You see, whites are the only group, we are the only racial, ethnic group that it is permissible to be openly racist about. There's not another group that you can attack as a whole. There's not another group who you can attack on skin tone. White people are the only ones. We are the only group of people that it is acceptable to attack, besmirch, denigrate, and, well, just frankly be racist about. It's not acceptable for any other group. And in one of her tweets, she had the hashtag cancel white people. Now, what does it mean to cancel white people? Some people think that is just a harmless joke. Some people say it's a call of white genocide. Me personally, I don't know. I think this lady is a moron. But the fact that she put that hashtag out there, I think that bears some relevance, especially in light of what's going on in South Africa now, with the South African government advocating for confiscation of white land, and many people in the South African government actually calling for warfare against the white minority in South Africa. Would that constitute canceling white people? Don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Do you think that using the power of the state to seize property and to wage a genocidal war, canceling a particular group of people? I think that qualifies. Now, do I think that's what Sarah Jeong was calling for? No, I don't. I don't think that she was advocating for the use of force to wipe out white people, but I could be wrong, because one of her tweets, she says that white people are going extinct, and that was part of her plan because white people aren't having babies. I think that's probably her being a troll, but it just goes back to her belief that white people are a group that should be erased, that should be exterminated, that should just frankly go away. See, my whole thing is the hypocrisy with the New York Times. That's what's really getting into my craw here. No one else, if you or me were to go out, and by you, I mean if you're just a white heterosexual person, if you went and you tried to get yourself a job at the New York Times or Facebook or Twitter or name your big company apparatus, and you apply, we both know that they would dig through your history, they would look through your social media history, they would do everything they could to vet you before they offered you a position, and if something did slip through the cracks, you would be thrown out on your ear. You would be destroyed. That's not the case for Sarah Jeong. She's of Korean descent. She grew up in California. Where does this anti-white hatred come from? I don't know. What I do know, though, is that the Wall Street Journal, not the Wall Street Journal, sorry, I'm getting my publications here screwed up. The New York Times, they had to have known about this. And the only reason that this woman got this promotion, I think it's probably twofold. Now, I don't have any kind of insider information. I am a deplorable goblin now, I guess. And I'll just add that to the list of insults that I will wear with a badge of honor. Either the hiring HR department at the New York Times is completely incompetent, or they knew about this and they ran with it because they agree with Sarah Jeong. I think it's the latter, not the former. I think that this is one of those cases where the mask slipped. I think this is one of those cases where the disdain and disgust for Middle America was revealed. I think this is one of the cases where the institutional bias and racism that the corporate media has against normal, everyday white Americans is revealed for everyone to see. And I think it's time that white people start standing up for this. I think that it's time to accept the fact that, yes, other races can be racist. Racism is not exclusive to whites. And that's a fact, that's a truth that we all need to accept, we just need to own and move on with. Second, if you subscribe to the New York Times, or if you know somebody who does subscribe to the New York Times, I urge that you cancel those subscriptions. And also, we should reach out to the advertisers who advertise with the New York Times. We should apply pressure to them. We should insist that until Sarah Jeong is thrown on her ear, that we will not do business with those advertisers. YouTube did to us. YouTube did to me. Guess what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You're going to target our advertisers. You're going to try and starve us out. Guess what? We can play that game too. Do I like it? No. But you know what? Frankly, I am sick and tired of standing on principles of free speech, and then those principles are used against us, and we're supposed to just take it on the chin and smile, and then ignore it and then not use the same tactics whenever you have a mainstream publication with tremendous power, and not use the same tactic against them. I think in this case it's perfectly fine. So again, if you are a subscriber of the New York Times, cancel your subscription. Let them know why. If you know someone who's a subscriber of the New York Times, share this video. Share other videos. I'm not the only YouTuber talking about this. They may not know. The corporate media is not going to cover this. Let them know that the New York Times has hired an open racist to their editorial board, and until that woman is out of a job, that publication is not worthy of a single cent. And also the same thing needs to go to the advertisers. Boycott them. Vote with your wallets. That all being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm just trying to bring it to you real life as it happens, folks. I'm not one of those spit and polish kind of people who goes off to try and make it all shiny. I'm not trying to polish a turd here. I'm a guy with an iPhone driving in a truck on the way to work, talking to you as a friend about something that has real bearing on the political and social discourse in this country and in our lives. If you like this video, I hope that you like it. I hope that you share it. If you like this channel, I ask that you subscribe. Take a look at the other content I have on here. I do everything. I do memes. I do commentary like this. I have a bunch of gun videos. And most of all, I really want to hear your feedback. Please leave your comments down below. I want to hear what you've got to say. I want to have a discussion with you folks about this. This is Misplaced Rebel signing off. Hope you folks have a great day. And I'll talk to y'all again real soon.